Funnels, let's take a quick look. So just to remind you guys, this is all about funnels. So I want to start looking at what funnels are, what they're for, look at some misconceptions, and then we're going to build a funnel from scratch, which is going to be super, super exciting. And I hope it's going to be really useful for you guys. If nothing else, it's going to give you a bit more of an understanding of what a funnel is and why it works in a certain way, what power it has. So I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into that. So let's take a very quick look at... Perfect. Again, just to remind you, funnels, everything a coach needs to know, and probably some things you don't even know you need to know, but it's worth knowing. And we're going to be looking at the step-by-step creation of a funnel. Super excited to get started with this. Before we start going into the full mechanics of a funnel, okay, I want to talk about a marketing funnel. Okay, so when people are talking to you normally about funnels, they are talking very specifically about sales funnels, not marketing funnels. Okay, a marketing funnel is all about the entire prospect journey, the whole prospect to customer and retention journey. Okay, so this is all about lead generation, lead nurture, sales, but the client basically passes through these certain stages. So think of your funnel being very much people going into the top of your funnel, and then a few of those will fall out, and then as more come down, it gets more concentrated, they get closer to purchase, and so on. Okay, so this is your marketing funnel. This is not what we're going to be talking about today, but you need to be aware there is such a thing as a marketing funnel. And a marketing funnel will dictate the strategy a marketing company or a marketing department will take in order to build awareness, gain interest, get consideration in your product, intent to buy, evaluation of your product and purchase. So there'll be certain activities that they do. Now, as a coach, you will be doing some of this, whether that's placing ads, whether that's you've got an ebook and you're trying to build awareness to that, whether it's social posting. You will be trying to do some lead generation. You will be trying to do some lead nurture. You will be trying to get sales, but you will not be doing this full awareness prospect journey that is known as a marketing funnel. So I wanted to outline that first because they are the two types, if you like, or flavors of funnels. And it's a bit of a misconception that they're the same thing, and they are absolutely not. What we're talking about is sales funnels, specifically a funnel, same sort of mentality, same idea, getting a certain amount of people in the top, and as they fewer and fewer filter through, they will eventually drop out at the end and hopefully purchase. So sales funnels is what we are specifically looking at today with tech. And sales funnels just concentrate really on three key areas of a fuller marketing funnel. So this in the left is the marketing funnel that you just looked at up here. And a sales funnel hones in specifically on lead nurture, okay, getting interest, getting consideration, and trying to get someone to purchase. That's its core purpose, okay, to build interest, to get people to consider, to buy, and convert them. And there's various activities that take place. And there's so many different types of funnels as well that in order to make people feel emotion at different stages, to trip them up on certain things and almost get them to do things, get them to feel they're going to miss out, fear of missing out. All of that good stuff comes in with the different types of funnels. I say good stuff, it's not. It's persuasive sales, which is, I don't really, but anyway. So the key thing is that I want you to take away from what we've talked about so far is there are marketing funnels, which is the whole journey a prospect will go through from not even knowing about your brand, your product, what you do, all the way through to being a client and you retaining them. Okay, that's the whole marketing funnel. But what we are specifically talking about and what 99% of people are talking about when they're talking about funnels is actual sales funnels. Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about today, the different types of sales funnels. So a sales funnel is a piece within the marketing funnel. Okay, it's a piece within it. Hopefully that makes sense. So there are a few different types of funnel. Okay, so one of the most frequently used types of funnels are giveaway funnels. If you've ever heard someone talk about an ebook, having an ebook, you've got an ebook, the likelihood is that you are using a basic form of a giveaway sales funnel. And I know it makes no sense to call it a giveaway sales funnel because you're giving it away, you're not making a sale, but look, it is. It's a giveaway sales funnel, whereby there'll be some sort of opt-in, and by that there will be some detail around what you're giving or selling. You'll be asking for details from somebody, whether that's their name, their email to go into an email list, or whether it's payment card details. You're still asking for data from them. And in reward, the value exchange will be something else, whether that is a free PDF or the product or purchase that they've bought. Okay, so there's that value exchange. But from a giveaway funnel specifically, the value exchange is purely based on you're giving them something for free based on the value of getting their details from them, their name, their email, that you could then use for further marketing or sales activity. So with a giveaway funnel, you tend to have a giveaway page, it's a landing page. It's called lots of different things, but a page they hit first of all and they see, which will be all about enticing them into, you need this, you want this, is going to be great, it's going to solve these 3 problems for you, or whatever that is. And then they'll put their details in, they'll go to a confirmation page, and more often than not then it will also probably email them or open up a PDF or take them to wherever that giveaway is. There's a couple of different types. A lot of funnels, you can have pages that are specifically set up, okay, that don't tend to have your usual web page header. They don't have a footer. They don't have any social icons, okay, and I'll come on to that in a minute. And you also tend to get ones that are called inline funnels, which is where basically you can see this particular area here is specifically sitting within a web page. Okay, so this probably has got a header and a footer and all sorts of icons. So you can have an isolated type of funnel experience, or you can have an inline where this would be sitting in a web page. They'd fill that form in, and then just this area would change to be the confirmation notice. As far as funnels are concerned, one of the key premises about a funnel is give them one choice. Take somebody on a journey, step by step, guiding them on what they need. So the beauty of having a specific journey that has no distractions is particularly powerful. If you are faced with some text that says, do you want this giveaway? And it's saying, give us your name, give us your email then, and then click submit. That's one thing you can do, right? If it's within a web page that's got a nice little pretty header up at the top, and it's got all your social icons sat at the bottom, and it's got loads of other information about how to book a call, and then you've got this thing over here that's submit, you're distracted. What's the likelihood that you're going to click that over all of the other things? So again, that's where the power of having a dedicated, very plain, clear, simple journey through a funnel comes in. So that's a giveaway funnel. And the reason I spoke about that one so long is because they are all different variations of that, really. You have a simple sales funnel, not too different than a giveaway funnel. Sales funnels quite often use videos nowadays. There's a different type of VSL funnel, which we're going to look at shortly as well. But they tend to have videos. It's a lot easier now to actually build connection with somebody and articulate something on video than it is to start trying to think of 3 key points or 5 key points. Even getting ChatGPT to write stuff for you, it's not the same as talking to somebody, talking to the camera and building a bit of rapport with somebody. So a lot of sales pages use videos. Again, they have a single route through, a single action, which will normally be the order or opt-in or okay. And invariably, they will also then take you to a confirmation page. Thank you, click here, download this, and so on. So that's your simple sales funnel. Moving on to a slightly more complex funnel. Now you'll see we've got a few different pages now. So this basically OTO funnel, so a one-time offer funnel. And you've probably come across these before where you've seen a sales page, you've clicked on it, you've subscribed, or maybe you've then purchased something. And then just before you click on the checkout button or you click checkout, all of a sudden this extra screen pops up and says, oh, do you want to upgrade to this VIP membership where it's just an extra 13 quid, but you get all these extra benefits? So that's a one-time offer. That's an OTO. Okay. So What you'll tend to have within this type of funnel is you'll have some sort of sales page or bribe, which will go really heavy into the emotion of why you absolutely should. That will lead you then through, when you click more info, to a sales page that probably then has a video. You click order. That's then once you go into your shopping basket and you've said that you want to order this, when it tries to upsell or cross-sell, also known as an order bump. Okay, in other words, as a seller, you are trying to bump up the order value. You're trying to get more, squeeze more out of that client. And then again, they will end up getting a confirmation page. So we've looked at 3 there. So we've looked at the OTO funnel, the one-time offer funnel. We've looked at a simple sales page funnel that will probably use a video. We've looked at a giveaway, like ebook type funnel, which will be probably a giveaway of a PDF or membership to something. Again, it can be inline or it can be dedicated. They are just 3 different types of funnel. And the key thing is, what you will see is there are many different types of funnels. There's new ones coming out all the time as well. People just make this shit up, I think, sometimes, and then come up with a phrase and it sticks. Like VSL. A VSL funnel is a video sales letter funnel. It's just another way of basically saying that this is what's going on. You get a video sales letter. You talk through the sale of why they want it and you know, the features and the benefits, rather than typing it out on screen. So that in essence is well, in fact, sorry, this one in essence is a very basic VSL funnel. Anyway, there are many, and I am not going to go into them all. I do not even know all of them, but I do know of these particular common ones. So these are all sales funnels. So you have a squeeze page, an application, tripwire, VSL, the video sales letter one I mentioned, product launch, challenge, webinar. There's loads of different funnels that you can get, and they all have slightly different mechanics, different pages, or maybe a page branches off with a decision, and maybe it goes down this route if you answer a question that way, or this route if you answer a question that way. They're all slightly different, but they're all based on the same basic principle, which we'll look at in a minute. You can have funnels that are embedded in pages, like I've already mentioned, where it looks like it's part of the web page. The only downside is the person will get distracted by social icons and all sorts of other crap you've got on the page. You can see them as pop-ups. So again, sometimes you don't even get to see the fields. It may be that you see a video, you click order, and at that point, a pop-up appears with the videos you need to fill in. You can have pop-ups in funnels as well, just like you can any other pages. You can use them to gather and harvest people's details to go onto an email list, register for events. They can be used for purchasing products. There's so many different things that are all surrounding funnels, sales funnels, okay? Why are they so popular? Why are they so good? And why should you at least be aware and consider? There's a few main reasons. So again, I'm just going to go back to a very simple giveaway page at this stage. The ultimate purpose really of a funnel, as I've already mentioned, is to control that user experience, that user journey, so they have one choice. They do the thing you want them to do, which is to click the button to say, I want to buy this, or I want to download this, or I want to arrange a call with you. So that's why these become so very powerful when they are not in line, when they are actually created as their own page with no header, no footer. Half the time doesn't even look like it's following your full branding. It might just look like some odd random page they've come to and they don't know whose website it sits on. That's pretty much the norm for a lot of funnels out there. Okay, so it keeps the control of the user experience. Keep it simple, stupid, KISS. Okay, there's no cluttered stuff going on. There's no website header, footer. There's normally one choice. You're controlling that experience. So that's purpose number 1, or one of the key reasons. Purpose number 2 is funnels really, as well as controlling the experience, the journey that the visitor goes on, it's normally all about collecting data so that you can act upon it. So whether that's collecting their name and email address so that you can add them to an email list so you can market to them later, that's one particular thing. Maybe you're collecting data because they purchase a product And then you send them some follow-up emails to say, welcome on board, and here's your download, fill this onboarding sheet in, book an onboarding here. Maybe it's collecting data on something like, I don't know, asking people who want to go onto a wait list, because that's useful. You might not have any places left on your group program anymore, but you still want to have people register for it, because what you can then do is get their details, and with the run up to when there is some availability, you can be marketing to them, reminding them that all the good stuff that they're going to get when there is a place available, right? So you can use them to collect data so you can nurture, and many other things as well. But these are the three key ones really. So you're collecting data so you can sell or control a sale, so you can control delivery of a sale, and so that you can nurture. Again, it's no faff for the end user. If it's in its own isolated little mini site, it is no faff whatsoever. It looks really simple to the end user. When they're just seeing a page, they fill a form in, job done, click submit, or get a confirmation page. Dead simple. What they don't understand is there's all sorts of stuff going on behind the scenes, and this is where funnels have a lot of power. Because it's not just 2 web pages, okay? It is a funnel. It's a construct that is designed for a particular purpose. These purposes, and it is delivered through technology that allows you to assign things to the actions within the funnel. So what do I mean about that? What does that actually mean, Karl? Because that just sounded crap, right? What I mean is, within a funnel, you can have triggers, you can have automation. So basically what a trigger is, it listens out for certain events and then does something, does an action. And then it can listen for something else, or it could create a third action or fourth action. Okay, so it can create automated little routines that it runs through if certain conditions are met. So for example, if somebody clicks submit and they've filled this form in, then it would automatically flip over to send them a confirmation page, but then you might have some triggered automation in the background that takes their details and creates a record in your CRM product. And then it edits that record and adds certain tags relevant to this particular campaign that you're running. And then maybe also copies them to or registers them for automatically an email list, because they've perhaps opted to say, yeah, I don't mind receiving email marketing from you. So it automatically adds them to that. And then it might automatically add them to an email sequence, because no doubt they've signed up for something there to receive value, right? So this is a giveaway. So there's probably a PDF they're waiting for now. So you could have it load up on the screen on this confirmation page, but better still, why not take them into a nurture sequence? Why not then say, add them to an email sequence that sends out the first email that says, great that you've had interest in this product. Here's the PDF. Oh, you don't know about whether or not, but I've got a deal running on free strategy sessions at the moment just for this week. You might be interested. Click here if you are. So that's when you can start then doing your additional upsell and cross-sell. And you can do that through nurturing with various emails. And again, you can have this email sequence that's triggered based on different events. So it does all that stuff once they've sent the details, adds them to an email sequence. They get the PDF via email. A day later, an email that's all worded saying, just checking you got it. Do you have any questions on it? I'm assuming all is okay. Don't know if you saw, I'm still offering the free strategy sessions for another 2 days, but get in there quick because the slots are running out. And then 2 days later, maybe you ask for feedback. Okay, so you can do all of that stuff through a funnel and through automation. And that's where its power comes in. The fact that it's not just some web pages that's collecting data in order for you to do something with. You can create triggers and logic and little routines that do loads of extra stuff that can then trigger off loads of other business processes that you've got, whether it's moving data around, updating data, tagging, adding to lists, sending an email sequence out to the client and stuff like that. Pretty heavy, right? Pretty good though. So because you have a lot of power within a funnel, again, I'm guessing that you have probably come across ebooks before. You've probably downloaded ebooks. You might have even set an ebook funnel up before, but just not really known it's a funnel. In Wix Studio, and there's quite a few other systems out there, they will have an automated way of doing this stuff, and it's not really making you aware of the fact that you are clicking certain buttons and picking certain things, which is actually in the background building this automation for you. Okay, so you've probably come across some basic funnels before. You've definitely downloaded from them, and a lot of you have probably built them unknowingly, and there'll be some that have built them knowingly. So we're going to build some knowingly today. So we're going to basically look at this sort of funnel, and we're going to build it from scratch in less than 30 minutes, hopefully. In order to start building a funnel, it's not the sort of thing that you can just jump straight in with, right? If you were building a website, you would probably have an idea of your logo, some of your brand colors, some of the content, some titles, some imagery prepared before you started to build it, right? If you're going to bake a cake, you're going to make sure you've got some of the ingredients before you do it. It's exactly the same with building a funnel. If you're going to be building a funnel, you need to be thinking about what's its purpose. Okay, is it for sales? Is it for giveaways? Is it a lead capture and nurture funnel? Okay, then you need to be thinking about what type of funnel you're going to select in order to deliver that purpose. So is it a one-time offer funnel? Is it a video sales letter funnel? A simple opt-in? So again, thinking about the different types of, is it a two-step process? Is it a four-step process? Does it have any branched logic in it so that if you do this, then it takes you down that route? If you don't, then it takes you that route. What automation and email sequence are you going to use? Are you going to use in any email sequence or not? Maybe you've got an ebook where you're just quite happy to grab the details, it pushes those into a CRM and takes them to a thank you page with a download button. Maybe you don't want to send them any emails after that. Fine, but know that up front. Any copy, any text that you want on any of the pages, any visuals, videos, all of those you need to be thinking about, they need to be created first. You need to think about strategy for the data that you collect. So what are you going to do with their name, email address, and choice of whatever it is that they've chosen? Are you going to push that into your CRM? Are you going to push it in and then tag them? Are you going to automatically add them to lists? Are they going to subscribe to an email sequence? Are they going to trigger off other automation? What's the purpose of gathering the information from them? Are you going to ship them a product, a physical product based on their purchase if it's a sale? If it's a giveaway, are you going to automatically email the PDF to them, or are you going to take them to a page where they've got a download button? You need to be thinking about all of these things before you actually build a funnel. To cut out a little bit of time, with the example that we're going to build in a minute, and I'm going to start whizzing through in a minute, we're going to assume that it's a simple workbook that's going to be sold. It's not a giveaway. It's going to be sold for £13. It's going to be a simple sales funnel. I'm not going to do a one-time offer funnel where it tries to do an order bump or says, oh, hang on a minute, do you want to upgrade? It's not going to do any of that stuff. It's just going to be very simple. I've got to build it in front of you, so we've got to keep it reasonably simple. It's going to have two steps. So there's going to be a landing page, and then there's going to be some form of confirmation page. I might do something a bit clever with it. I might put like a receipt on there so people can see what they've bought. Yeah, probably do that. It's quite good fun to do. And then from an automation perspective, it's going to launch an automation and send 3 emails out, maybe immediate, 24 hours later, 48 hours later. I'm just going to write crap in the email, but you'll be able to see the principle of how to do it and how to wire it up together. I haven't really got much copy and visuals, so you'll just have to go with copy and paste and stuff like that, but you'll get the general gist of it. And what's the premise behind it? What's the strategy for this particular funnel? So for this funnel, it's all about trying to dangle a carrot in front of somebody so that I can get their details off them, so I can get them on a marketing list, and I can sell more to them later based on knowing that their preference is this particular type of product, and they're quite happy to sell to buy it for 13 quid. So something of double the value, they're probably going to be quite happy to buy as well. Okay, so it's not a giveaway, it is a sales funnel. That's the idea behind it. Hopefully that all makes sense. I haven't seen any comments come in, but give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. Obviously, I will try and answer any comments that do come in, but I am concentrating quite a bit on the screen as well, so forgive me if I don't get to them. I can always review them afterwards. So, it's going to be a workbook funnel. It's going to have multiple steps. It's going to have automation. It's going to do all of the things that most funnels do. It might not be the most elaborate funnel. It might not be the most attractive funnel, but you're going to see how it gets set up in some really popular funnel software. Method for creating a funnel. And again, it's very similar to this checklist, really. So that's the prep for creating a funnel. And then these are just the steps that we're going to run through in order to create the funnel. And the steps are pretty easy, really. It's all about making sure that we put the assets in the system, the images, the videos that we're going to need to use. And then we just go through step by step, creating the different pages, wiring things together. There's a couple of things that we need to do in order to test the transaction is going to work if it's a product sale funnel. And then we run a test, and then we get it live and we share it with people. Job done. Less than 30 minutes, I reckon, you can create a funnel in. Now, obviously, if you were creating this one for real and you had all of the copy and imagery created and done, you'd still be able to do it in less than 30 minutes. Me, I'm going to be leaving mine a bit raggedy because I haven't done the images, I haven't done the copies. It would take me slightly longer to create it without the prep and then to make it nice afterwards. But even less than an hour to create a funnel. Okay, so there's all this hype from people out there about, oh, this funnel, I'll build a funnel for you. It's a £20,000 funnel, but it'll earn you £100,000 a month. What could anybody possibly build like this that is worth that sort of money? Really? Really? But anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Build it yourself. Or speak to somebody who's reasonable about it rather than trying to build something that's massively overcomplex. Again, remember the key principle. Keep it simple, stupid. And take the user on an experience where they've only got one option. They don't get confused. That's the beauty of this. Which also, and one last little bit of insight, which also now is hopefully making you question or understand and appreciate a little bit more why I quite often say you don't need a website as a startup coach. Because you don't. You could have quite a few different funnels set up if you wanted funnels, and you'd direct people specifically to those funnels landing pages, and you'd guide them on the process you wanted to go on, whether that's try and get them to download an ebook or whether that's go and buy a product. You don't need a website pulling all that stuff together. It's overbearing, it's confusing, they'll click away, their attention span will go. So I still stand by the fact that most people don't need websites in this day and age. And the data doesn't lie. I don't think I've had one conversion from a website. Now, I don't know that for certain because they may have visited my website and then gone and looked at a funnel, and I've attributed the success of the conversion to the funnel, and it might not have been the only factor. But I certainly don't think many people make sales just from their websites nowadays. And I have literally just got a landing page as my website now. It doesn't even really do anything. Okay? It's just serves no purpose. Anyway, we are going to look at creating this funnel, and we are going to do it within my most favorite product in the world, ClickFunnels. Sorry, it's Go High Level, which is basically a ClickFunnels clone. I think I can probably get away with saying it's a clone. If you've ever used or seen ClickFunnels, then if I start from scratch with we'll call it Test Funnel 2, okay? If you've ever seen inside ClickFunnels, then you'll look at this and you'll think, oh my God, Karl, that is ClickFunnels. Because it really does look just like ClickFunnels. But anyway, so we are in Go High Level. So what are we going to do first? So just looking very quickly back at the checklist, first thing we're going to do is make sure that if it's a PDF giveaway or a worksheet, I think I said, didn't I, that we were going to have this as a sell a £13 workbook. Right, the first thing I'm going to do is I've got to make sure that I've got the link to the PDF. Now, whether you're storing that on a Google Drive or you're using something as good as, Go High Level or ActiveCampaign or ClickFunnels, you can actually store products in here as well. So I've got plenty of downloads that are already stored in here. So I'm not going to put a new one in. And again, I'm not going to spend too long taking you through how to do it in this specific platform because it's not really relevant. But I do have quite a few things in here. I have various documents in here. I've got PDFs that are here. So there's this leadership banner thing, which is a PDF. So that'll do. I'll pretend that's my workbook for now. And I'm going to make sure that I've got this link. I've done a get link. And I'm going to copy that somewhere because I'm going to need that for my funnel. So I've just copied it into Notepad or Notepad equivalent. I'm going to go back to my funnels and then start building again. So as you can see, I've got quite a few funnels. Let's start again. I'm not going to create it from template because that's cheating, but there are lots of pre-organized templates that you can pick from within this system as well. And there will be in ClickFunnels or whatever software you're using, whether that's Systemio or Flow or whatever system you're using, there will be templates. But I always like to start from scratch. So I need first to be thinking about getting the PDF up there, which I've done. The next thing I need to think about is I'm going to be selling this workbook at £13. So within this particular software I use, Go High Level, I actually need to create a product, because what I have to do is create the concept of a product that's going to be sold and then attach that to the product, to the funnel, so that when the checkout takes place, it knows what the product is and what it costs. So again, in this particular software, it's going to be different in them all, but in this particular software, I am going to create a new product, and it will make sense in a minute. I shall call this, I'm actually going to call the product £13 workbook. Okay, just so we're aware of it. I could give it a description, I could give it a photo, an image. I'm not, because I'm never going to use this as such other than within a funnel. So this is just behind the scenes. Price wise, I can have things as recurring subscriptions, but it's not. It's just going to be £13 to pay for it. I'm not going to do a compare price. You see this on a lot of web pages. You even see it on things like Amazon. Sale price crossed out in red, and then you've got the actual price, which is lower next to it. Most funnels allow you to do things like that, where you've typed in $19.99 and it will automatically put a line through that and put that price next to that one just to make it look like it's been lowered. I'm not going to do that. So that's about it. That's all I need to do at the moment. I just need to literally create the container of a product, give it a name, and know that it's got a price assigned to it, right? And I've done that. That's the product created. I now have a product called £13 workbook. I'm going to go back to my funnel. And again, if you were doing this in, save the funnel, idiot. If you were doing this in a real life environment rather than demoing it like I am, you'd probably have multiple tabs open, so you could just very quickly alt tab flip between them rather than doing what I'm doing. Test funnel live. So let's start that again. So I'm actually going to start creating the funnel in a minute. So I've done that first step. I'm going to create a new funnel. I'm going to make sure I associate it with a particular site. So again, within all funnel software, you will associate your web address or domain, your website in essence, to the system that's serving up your funnels. They can be different. I used to have my website on karlsandland.com, and I had all my funnels sitting on karlsandland.net. I had all my emails going out from karlsandland.org. So I separated my different systems to use slightly different domains and stuff. You can do that, or you can have it all sitting under the one hood. What we need to do when we first create a funnel is look at the settings of it and associate it with a domain. So I'm going to say that it's going to be served by karlsandland.net. It's going to have a path. So if I want to share this funnel with somebody so that they can see the landing page and they go through the different steps, here's the path. So it will be www.karlsandland.net test funnel live. Okay, so that's what people visit. You can do lots and lots of other stuff around meta tags, favicon. There's all sorts. We're not going to do all of that stuff at the moment, but I am going to change it from payment mode live to payment mode test, and you'll see why in a minute. So I've set the basics up. I've said where it's going to sit, and I'm now going to create steps in the funnel. So the first thing I need to do is I want this landing page. So it doesn't, whatever you type in is the page name is what will appear in the browser up at the top. So you would probably want to describe it in some way, but for simplicity, for this demo, I'm just going to call it step 1. And I'm also going to create the path called step 1 demo. So this is a completely different URL, a completely different web path that nobody will ever visit because they only visit the one that you share, which is the top level funnel. So in essence, the funnel has a container and pages that sit the different steps, and it controls what the user sees by the buttons they click on. So this really is just internal stuff. The user will never get to see this stuff really, apart from the page title. So I'm going to create that step, and it will think about it. So now we've got a blank page that we can go in and edit in a minute. I'm going to create a second step. So we'll call this step 2, and this will be the thank you page. I'll also call that step 2 demo. That will do. Again, doesn't really matter too much because people are never going to see the path. So we've got 2 steps in our funnel. Okay, so we've got the 2 steps, and basically now you're creating content around them. But before we do that, what we need to know is how they work together as well. So what we need to do is assign a product, because ultimately we're going to tell the system that it's going to have a shopping cart attached to it. It's going to have a form that people fill in. And when they check out, we're basically saying, well, when you check out on this funnel, this is the product that we created earlier, that £13 one. So let's assign that as well now. So at step 1, where the detail is going to be where they put their card details and stuff like that in, I'm going to go to products. I'm going to assign the product I created earlier to this funnel. Now you can select multiple products, especially if you're doing a one-time offer where it's you buy something and then it says, hey, before you go, do you want this as well? You would assign those multiple products, but I'm just doing the one product for this. So I'm going to add the product. I'm going to pick my £13 workbook. It knows what price I put in, which is £13, and it's as simple as that. I have now told this funnel that when someone's buying, that is what they're buying. They're buying that product, and it's going to charge them £13 based on the product specifics that I put in earlier. Okay, I'm going to go back to overview. This is where I now get my hands dirty and start editing the page itself. So again, step 1 is all about a landing page with some reasonably attractive information on it. So we're going to create that from blank. I'm not going to use existing. And it takes me into the web page editor. Now, again, a lot of people would have seen things very similar to this, whether you've used Wix, Wix Studio, oh God, Drupal, WordPress, Kajabi, and so on, right? ClickFunnels, they're all very similar. You have to create like a container, and then you put rows inside it, which is either a single row or 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows, etc. And then you put content into those little containers. That's how building web pages works, but it's all click and point. So I want a full width column. Within that, I'm probably going to, I'm not going to have a header or anything, because as I say, it's a funnel. It's going to be very simple. I'm not going to have menus across the top. So I'm just going to go straight in and split that. So I've got 2 columns, one next to the other. I'm going to stick an image in here with probably just a couple of bullet points underneath. You know, when you load this workbook, you will get blah, 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 benefits. And then I'll probably have the form bit on the right-hand side that they fill in to put their name, address, details, all that sort of stuff in. So I'm going to add element. I'm going to go off and say I want to add an image. Again, I'm going to just pull an image from something I've already got uploaded. So again, all systems work slightly differently, but there'll normally be a way on whatever system you're using to navigate to an image in your image library. It will allow you to create a new image upload, or you can go and pick something that you've previously uploaded. So what have I got in here? I don't like any of them. I'm not going to use them. I will use product images. I'll use this. Okay, so that's a pre-existing product image that I've used before on one of my product sales funnels. I'll use it here. That will do us. So I've got an image. I then probably want to add some text underneath it. So again, with most of these editors, if you point at something that you've already got there will normally be a little plus that appears to the left or above or below, and it just allows you to click plus and then go and pick another element that you want to put underneath it. So I'm just going to add some headline text underneath it. Again, I'm not going to get massively creative, but it's going to say, get your £13 workbook here and whatever. Okay, whatever. Key benefit I'm trying to get across. And then I probably want to put some points underneath it. So I could add another bit of text in, or I could just duplicate it. I could then click on it. I could go over here and just reduce the text down a little bit so it just shrinks a little bit. This is what is included. I probably want to do a couple of bits with this. Maybe I want to put a bit of a space between these two things. I can select either one of them and I can just literally put some padding in. So I could put some internal or external padding in. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. But I'm just going to knock that up to probably about 20. Probably want to just add some extra padding in there as well. Again, I'm not going to get it perfect, but it will do. I'm going to duplicate rather than add that. I'm going to alter that then so that this is, for example, feature 1, whatever that feature would be. Okay, so that's just describing a feature they would get when they download this. I might want to change things like the bold color. I might want to make it green and stand out. I might want to do that and make it bold so it becomes green. So features are standing out, you will get. Maybe I want to do something slightly different with it. Maybe put it back to black again. And maybe what I do is just have some of the text. So maybe my italic color is green, and maybe I just want to make this first part of the sentence italic, and just that bit becomes green. And then maybe I want to add a real little bit of speciality on it and add an icon as well. So maybe my icon color is green, right? And I add like a little bullet icon at the start. Oh, let's just go back to that. So I can pick an icon. I don't know, probably something like a tick. That's the sort of thing that you do, isn't it, with features? I've added that in there now, so I can probably just do something like that. Okay, and then I would edit the text that's there. Now, I could do lots more with that. Okay, I could make things wiggle with animation. I could do all sorts if I wanted to. I probably don't want to. I don't want things to be wiggling, zooming, flipping, rotating, because again, that's not really sticking to the whole premise of keep it simple. But in essence, you want something visual to show the product that they're getting, a headliner, some sort of hook, some sort of, these are the features you're going to get as a reminder. And that's probably the left part of your landing funnel page. On the right-hand side is probably where the form's going to be. And there's multiple ways of doing it. You can have a one-step form, a two-step form, or you can have a very basic opt-in or checkout that then brings a pop-up. A lot of pop-ups get blocked nowadays. And again, I want to try and keep it simple, stupid. I want to kiss it. So I'm probably going to go with a two-step process of order because that's going to be a lot less complex. I'm going to add an element. I'm going to pick a two-step order. You'll see it brings up this order form. And then I'm going to play about with this order form a little bit. Okay, so you can see at the moment that it's 2 stages. There's not many fields on the screen. And when they fill those in, they click go to step 2 and it fills in even more. The reason I've picked a 2-stage is because if I'd picked a single stage order, it actually becomes quite complex. Okay, it shows the payment that they're going to make, what the product name is. And it just, to be honest, it just feels a little bit too much all on one screen, which is why I tend to use the 2-stage one, the 2-step one. I'm going to stick that in there. Now, there's all sorts of things that I can do. I'm not going to go into every feature, but you can pretty much modify. You can change things and get creative with everything that you've got here in front of you. So it says that the title for this tab is shipping. I could call it, I don't know, name details. I could alter the text that sits underneath it. So I can alter all of this. I can say whether I do or don't want to have the company name in there. I can change things like that. So I'm going to strip this back a little bit. I'm going to say that I don't want shipping. I'm not interested in shipping. I just want to grab their full name, their email address, their phone number. I might also want to, rather than see how it's centering against that column, maybe I want it to appear up at the top. So I'm going to pick that area and I'm going to say I want it to go up there. And the beauty of that is then I could also probably then put something else underneath it, whether that's extra detail and stuff like that. Might be a bit over the top, but anyway. So that's that. If I'm going to look at the second, I can do for the order as well. So that's the first tab. I could look at step 2, and again, I can edit all of this stuff that's in there. Step 1 is normally about collecting the personal details, the contact details, shipping details. Step 2 is normally about, we're about to take your card details now. So here's your coupon code that you might want to put in. Here's your card details. Here's what you're going to pay. You might want to take off the coupon codes and stuff like that. There's so much that you can manipulate in here. However, ultimately, we are nearly at that stage where I would now probably want to save it. I'm not going to update any of the whole metadata stuff. That's for another day. That's SEO stuff. Not interested in that right now. You will at some point be interested if you're running ads or want to do something really good with analytics to work out how well funnels work. But ultimately, you know how well it's working because of the sales it's generating or converting. Let's not worry about that for tonight. I'm going to publish it, which is good, and I'm going to preview it. Even now, at this very early stage, I already now have a semi-working funnel. Okay, it doesn't look very pretty. I would be copying, pasting the text in that I had pre-created as part of my pre-stage. But I have got pretty much a working funnel. It knows what product it is. I will put... It's probably not going to allow me to do that because it's not a number. Idiot. It's going to go to step 2. Yeah, it's going to go step 2, which is fine. It's brought that up. It knows it's £13 for that £13 workbook. It's giving the user plenty of ways to pay. Klarna, ClearPay, Revolut Pay, card. Those will be based on whatever technology and payment systems you've wired up to the technology you're using. I'm using Go High Level and Stripe, which is there for opening up all these options for me. Yours might be PayPal. You might be using Kajabi just linked to PayPal or Stripe. That's very platform specific. But ultimately, you can see there it's working. It is in test mode, which is wonderful. So I've set it in test mode at the start, which means I can actually use Stripe's official fake card details to actually test the purchase and it not cost me anything, and it still pushes it through Stripe. So believe it or not, and I got so used to doing this with tests, you just set the card number on that. You have something set in your back end in your Stripe account to allow this sort of stuff to happen as well. Any future date, any 3 characters, and any postcode. And it allows you to pretend it is a real transaction, but Stripe knows to ignore it. Oh, that's good. And I'm getting a 404 error. The reason I'm getting a 404 error is because I have created my page 1 and I'm telling page 1 to go to page 2 once page 2 is actually created and there's nothing there yet. So let's just very quickly try that again. I'm going to create from blank. For your thank you page, we are nearly there. For your thank you page, I would probably just create, I don't know, a 3-column row, something like that. Stretch it out so I can just maybe have something on the right and left of something I want to put in the middle. I don't know, that will do. Thanks for downloading. Not feeling very creative at the moment. Thanks for downloading. I don't know. Maybe that would say something like, click here for a call. Go to book onboarding. Cool. Again, I might want to add a little bit of space in there. I might want to do things like changing it so that it's got a border. And on that border, maybe I've got a border radius. Okay. Other things that I put on here, might want to put a little receipt on page as well. Little receipts on page can be pretty fantastic. So again, I'm just going to add an extra element in here, which gives a, where is it? Order confirmation, which is quite nice. Just going to add some additional padding in there. So look, it's not pretty, and I'd be copying and pasting images and the copy in, but you can see the mechanics of it. When they click this button, I want it to go to a particular website, and that website it goes to is, I don't know. my page to book a strategy session, right? So I'm going to click save. Again, I'm going to ignore the SEO. I'm going to click publish. Again, I know it's not pretty, guys, but it is functional. It's still building the preview. I'm just going to quickly check in here. That is all fine. That's good. Brilliant. Okay, so we've got the two pages done. We've got step 1 done. One last thing that we want to just do is click the form and what happens once the form has been completed. And that's where we basically say we want to go to the next step, or we can select a specific step. So remember I said earlier, some funnels can have branched logic. So we might create 6 steps, and depending on a particular choice or form or button, it might be saying go to step 3, or if you click this button, it goes to step 4. If you click this button, it goes to step 2, and all that sort of stuff. We've only got 2 steps, so I'm just saying go to next step. So once somebody fills the form in, then it goes to the thank you page. Save and publish. Give that a quick go again. Go into the preview. So we've nearly built the funnel. Again, bear in mind this is connected to a true product as well at the moment. So let's go again. Again, so we are just running it at the moment, hopefully in test mode. It's not allowing that number. Right, idiot. So again, it knows the product because we connected the product earlier. Again, I've got it in test mode, so I can simulate a checkout using Stripe's fake details again. It's all legit, by the way, the fake details. They publicize it on their site for people to test and use. Complete order, so I can see what the experience is like when a customer goes through it. And again, you'll notice I've only ever really got one option. It's do I want to buy it? Yeah. Put your details in, and then click the button. And then, okay, so if you filled your details in, yeah, we'll click there to finish off buying it then. Okay, great. And then it's thank you for downloading it. Here's what you've downloaded. It's product aware, so it knows what the product was. And then it's probably going to send an email with the PDF in there. And then it's going to say, why don't you book an onboarding call? I can take you through it. I can walk you through it. And then that button that we put there, if I click, that's hopefully going to take them to the site that I asked it to take them to, which is the booking a strategy session. So it all seems to be working quite nicely. The bit it's missing really is some of the clever automation. So basically we've done this, we've created the initial page, we've created the thank you page, we've linked it to a product, we've linked the shopping cart to it, so it's taking money now. We could give that to someone, it's taking money off them, and it's putting money in our Stripe account, which is fantastic. We're ready to go. But we might just want to do some of these things. Okay, so create the contact in the CRM, add some tags, add some emails. So I'm just going to create a very quick email sequence because I'm just conscious of time and we have gone slightly over. So what I'm going to do now is be aware of what this funnel is called, and be aware of the fact that, what have we got? Test funnel live 1. I'm just going to change that so it is more obvious. Okay, that does. And again, if I ever want to give that funnel to somebody, I can visit the funnel URL and look at what it puts in the bar there, which is what I defined earlier, which was test funnel live. So if you then ever give that funnel to somebody, you just give them that URL. They never get to see the step 1 and step 2 URL change in the bar. It always stays as what's there, so they don't get to see the mechanics behind it. So there's your working funnel. No faff, no messing about with stuff at the top of the screen, no distracting them with your social media stuff, your privacy policy. It's just not needed. Plain and simple. Drive your traffic to a funnel. Single option of what you want them to do, and you're controlling that journey. Be clear, Be very simple. Keep it really simple. You're here for this. Here's a reminder of what's included. Here's the key features. Here's what it costs. Go and get it. Thank you. Brilliant. Transaction done. That's the sort of thing that you're looking for. So we know that's working. Now we just want to go quickly back and do the email automation side of it. I'm not going to spend long doing this, but in essence, there are two components. There are the emails themselves, and there is the automation. There is the little routine that you run that's going to do the sending and listen out for certain things. So I'm just going to do it rough and ready. Normally, you'd probably create the emails as nice, pretty looking emails as templates, and you'd pre-write them all. So for example, rather than just describing it, I'll just quickly show you. So you would probably normally come in here and you would create the 3 emails that you wanted sent out. Okay. So actually I've got a funnel email here. So when somebody purchases that thing that I used the image from before, it sends out this email it's not that pretty, but it's more pretty than just crap text. Okay. So you would probably create your email templates that you wanted to then use in your automations. We're not going to do that. We're going to go cheap and cheerful, keep it really simple. We are going to create an automation, a new automation workflow. We're going to start from scratch. Now, an automation workflow is all about listening for certain triggers and then taking certain actions. So again, think back at this. It was all about if something happens, if a trigger event happens, then do something and then do something else. So if somebody purchases that workbook, I want to send them an email that says, "Hi, great, thanks for downloading it. Here you go. Here's the PDF attached." That's what I want them to get. And then I want them to get another email a day after and another email 3 days after, just trying to upsell them or talk them into booking a strategy call or whatever. Okay, let's look at how we'd set the automation up for that. It's fine. So I'm going to add a new trigger. So you just build it up a bit like a flow diagram, really. So I'm going to add a new trigger. And what's the trigger to do with? The trigger is to do with a funnel, right? In fact, it's to do with a form, Phil. So it's order form submission. Where is the order form? I'm going to add some filters. The order form sits in a funnel or website. And which does it sit on? Incorrectly spelled obvious. So it now is listening out for that funnel that I set up. If anybody completes the transaction and goes through and submits the form and completes their order and the payment goes through, it's listening for that as its trigger. And when it gets that trigger, at the moment, it does nothing. It just goes to the end of the process. But we're going to add some extra stuff in there. It already goes to that thank you page, but this is some extra stuff that happens in parallel at the same time. I'm then going to say I want to send them an email. Okay, but I don't want to send them an email straight away. And this is a mistake a lot of people make with funnels. They'll send them an email straight away, and then they hear a ding come through on the phone and they navigate away from the thank you page. Now, I want the person to spend a few seconds, maybe a minute, looking at the thank you page, maybe reading some extra stuff on there, because I want them to click to book a strategy session, right? So I always tend to like to add a little lag in here. So I'm going to search for an action which is wait, and I'm going to say wait, time delay 5 minutes. And next time I need to save it. Let's try that again. Wait 5 minutes, save action. So it's going to listen out for that particular form being filled and completed on that specific funnel. And if it gets triggered and it says, yep, that event's happened, it says, okay, we'll wait for 5 minutes. It's going to wait for 5 minutes. Then it's going to send an email out. So I'm going to send an email. I'm not changing any of the names of the actions, by the way. I'm just leaving them as default. You'd probably get a bit more descriptive. The trigger name would probably be order form submission on obvious funnel, transaction purchased. The wait, you'd probably change the name of that to be wait for 5 minutes. This action would probably say email, welcome email or something like that, but I'm not doing that. I'm just doing it for speed at the moment. So you'd probably change things in the subject, like you'd say something like, hey, contact name. In fact, maybe not the full name. you'd probably just go with, you'd probably want to say, hey Tony, hey John, or something like that. So you'd say first name, and it's clever enough to pull this stuff through. Hey John, here's your whatever it is workbook. Yeah. So that's the topic, the subject of the email that's going to go out. It's going to come from, I'm going to leave that as default. If you leave it as default, it will use whatever's configured in the system as the default. You can have multiple users sitting in certain funnel environments, and you can pick who you want it to come from. A little bit weird. It's a null issue. You could pick a template from a pre-done email template that you've created. I am not going to do that. I am literally going to go at it raw here and say, hey, and then put another tag in again. Contact, full name, first name. Say, hey, Tony. I don't know. So you've got a couple of options. I mean, you could say the PDF is attached, and you can, as you can see here, you can actually click to add an attachment and go and pick the PDF, right? So that's one option. Or you could do something like the PDF is here, and then you could add the hyperlink of the PDF that we selected earlier. You know, I said about going and getting the PDF link. So I could be doing something like that so that it becomes a hyperlink within the email. I could even, if I wanted to get really clever, start putting things like buttons in there and stuff like that. But again, keep it simple. Personally, I would probably go with this option of thank you for your purchase. The PDF is here. You would only ever give that to people who have purchased because it's part of this triggered routine. It's great to get attachments, but what if the attachment is quite big? 20 meg, 30 meg, 40 meg. That's not going to get through an email system. That's probably going to end up in spam. It's probably going to get blocked, sending limits and stuff like that. Whereas if you send a link to go and get it themselves, you can have it of any size and you're just hosting it on your own system, your platform. So this would probably be my favorite approach. And there's things you can do to just draw people's attention to stuff like this as well. I've highlighted it there just so that it looks good. Thanks again, Karl. When you put whatever you want to put in there. You can send a test email, or you can just save that action. So it waits 5 minutes. It sends the email straight away. Then I'm going to wait again. Okay, I'm going to wait this time 24 hours. And again, I'm then going to send an email. I'm not going to type it all in, spending time. You saw it in the first one. And then what I might want to do is, there's problems with my fields. And then what I might want to do is, so bear in mind now, they order it, they go to the thank you screen, it waits 5 minutes, it sends them a welcome email with a link to go and get their PDF. It could have also been on the thank you screen as well. You could have put it there too. And then it waits another 24 hours and says, hey, did you get it? I've not heard back from you. Did you want to book a strategy call? There's only 3 left, blah, 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 blah. And then you might want to get really funky, because if you asked for their phone number, like we did in our form, you might also want to send them an SMS. And say, hey, again, you could personalize it. Hey, Trevor. What did you think of the workbook? Save action. Boom. So we've got an automation, and I've added a little bit of a Brucey bonus. So it looks for somebody purchasing, it sends an email out after 5 minutes, it waits another 24 hours, sends another nag email, and then waits some more time, and then sends an SMS. So that, if we publish that, is pretty much the funnel done. So now we are at that stage where we could do a final test. I'm not going to because of time that we've got left, but ultimately we are now at that stage where we've done this. So we've created the initial page with the form. We've got the thank you page. We can have whatever we wanted on that page, whether that's perhaps even a button to go and download from there. That's fine. We've created some automation that if that form on that funnel is filled in and that product is purchased, then launch that sequence, which waits for 5 minutes. Then it sends the email, sends another email after 24 hours, and then sends a text. Okay. So we're doing this sort of stuff. We didn't add any tags, but look, there's loads of actions that you can do from within a workflow. I'm not here to go through every single one. What I'm here to do is to try and take you through the basics of that is what a funnel is like. And yes, we have gone slightly over time, but I did talk a shit ton at the start about all of the different types of funnels. Hopefully, that has given you that full flow through, and you've seen as well, and you can also take away from it the fact that you can run test transactions in Stripe as well and through funnel software. Let's assume that I've done all of that. I have got all of that working. I've done my test transaction. I might want to run another test again just to check that the automation triggers, because with all my automations, let's just look at this one. I can also go into all my automations and look at the execution logs as well. So I can see when they've been fired. So I know we haven't purchased it. This is a copy of one I set up earlier. So I can see that it was triggered for test user. So test user purchased it. They got added to the workflow. We added a contact tag. We sent an email. It waited, went to another workflow. Somebody else did a purchase. It sent an email, and so on. So I can see the people that have passed through it. I can diagnose where there's a problem if someone's stuck in the automation somewhere. So once I'm sure that, and I've run a test transaction to also include checking the emails are going out, the very last thing I need to do is to make sure I don't give my stuff away for free because it's currently in test mode. Remember when we were at the checkout, it's very much said test mode. We'd go back into the funnel after doing all of our testing before we've actually given this link to anybody live, and then we would take it out of test mode and put it into live mode. And now those card details that I used before, those false card details, they will not work anymore. It is now a fully fledged working system that will use Stripe's card validation and banking validation using PDS2 and stuff like that. I think it's called P2DS2. I don't know, I can't remember. It's been ages since I worked in fintech. And it will be proper valid transactions now. So do bear in mind, if you've got something that's not working in your automation and not delivering the PDF, you're going to be getting quite a few pissed off people now because they are actually going to get charged £13 when they visit that site and fill in their details. And now, all you literally need to do is know of the URL, the web page that is your funnel. Obviously, finish it off first. And this now is the thing that you share with everybody. And when you share that with people, they will see your funnel. So you could put that in a link in bio, you could put that in an advert, whatever you want to do. That now is the URL for that funnel, which is fully working, got automation, delivers a product, and gets you revenue through Stripe. That, ladies and gents, is a funnel walkthrough. Hopefully that's been helpful. So finally, very final point that I want to make is I don't believe that at this stage you really need to worry about funnels if you are a new or a startup coach. Okay? I don't think you need to be worrying about ebook funnels. I don't think you need to be worrying about certain funnels that are out there, tripwire funnels, one-time offer funnels. Depending on how you're selling your products to people, you may be manually invoicing from Stripe, from PayPal. You may be invoicing from account software. I don't know how you're doing it. However, I do wonder whether or not it is worth setting up, like in something like this, products, and then having product sales funnels that are just a simple place that you can send people if they are interested in your product. If you've had a strategy session with somebody and they are interested in a particular product and you want to sell your product for a particular price and you want to have a little bit of a page that describes what it is, it's not necessarily a full sales page, but just something to give them rather than worrying about, oh God, I need a website, or oh God, I need to create a PDF. No, you don't. You could just literally create a funnel, as you saw earlier, where, what happened then? That's weird. Bear with me 2 seconds. So you could literally have a funnel. What did I do? Anyone with the link? I don't know why that's done that. Bear with me 2 seconds. Let's pick that. I'll get back in my flow again in a minute. So this ends up being the path. This is the funnel link. So you could set up all of your products that you're selling as a coach. You could set up a basic sales page for each one of your products. Okay, you don't need a website. You just need to create separate funnel pages for them with the bonuses they get, the cost, recent client feedback, all that sort of stuff. And the beauty of doing it in a funnel is like this is it's going to be mobile friendly. Okay, so using ClickFunnels or using something like Go High Level is going to give you this. And then because you're collecting money through Stripe and it's all integrated into your funnel, and because they're then getting automated emails afterwards, you're controlling that whole user experience, right? You don't need to send them an invoice. You literally just need to say, oh, after the strategy session, so you're going to buy it now. Are you buying it in 3 or are you buying it up front? And you've got a different funnel set up for 3 payments and up front. Send them the link and then they'll trust it because it's looking like it's official. It's using Stripe and it will collect the payment and it will do everything that you need. Should you use funnels? Yes, if you've got no other way of making the purchase experience nice. Should you be using funnels if you think they are the answer to gaining more clients? No. They are a tool for collecting payments and or taking somebody who's interested and continuing to nurture them or convert them to a sale. So funnels are not a strategy to attract people. You attract people first and push them to a funnel. And that's one of the biggest misconceptions out there that people have. I need a website. I need funnels. I'm not attracting enough customers. Well, those two things. You're trying to hammer nails in with a screwdriver. It's just the wrong bloody tool. I get that it's in your toolbox, but it's the wrong bloody tool. Okay? Anyway, so you have now hopefully got a little bit more of an understanding of funnels. So again, just to go back to the very, very start, we looked at the difference between a marketing funnel, which is the whole process a prospect goes through from lead gen all the way through to sale. And then we've looked at sales funnels, which are our little tools that we've been looking at, which look at interest, consideration, and the actual purchase. Okay, so lots of different types, some giveaway funnels, some inline funnels, some basic sales funnels, one-time offer with an order bump, loads of others we didn't look at. We looked at the purpose of a funnel. It's to control that user experience, keep it simple, stupid, give the client one choice on the screen, fill a field in, submit a button, get the next page, one bit of information, press a button, control that experience, collect data and act upon it. So we're collecting data from them so we can use it to deliver a sale, to gather data, to nurture, to trigger something else with it within the system. And then we can put automations on it as well. So if something happens, then do this, then that, which you've seen. And we did a simple setup of a very basic email sequence. Hopefully now, because there's so many components to it, you now understand the importance of prepping when you build a funnel. What's it for? The type you're going to use, how many steps, do you want automation or not? If so, what's the email copy you're going to use? Are you going to set them up as templates or not? You're going to use images, videos. What are you going to do with the data you collect? Is it a sales funnel or is it a giveaway funnel? Because they all act differently. Okay, we went through the process step by step, including the all-important test your funnel. Okay, I before now have set a product sales funnel up and put the wrong number of digits in and sold something that should have been £2,225 and I sold it for £25 and then I had to adhere to that. So I sold early days I sold a coaching program for £25, guys, and it was not by mistake. It was because I hadn't tested my bloody funnel. So please do put it into test mode, check it's working, and then flip it back to live mode once you've tested it. And that's it. And then share your funnel with people and it's good to go. I hope you guys have learned something from that. It's key that you understand when it comes to tech, you understand some of these terms that are thrown about. Because if you don't understand the basics of what some of these things are and what they're for, you'll find yourself with fear of missing out, probably purchasing something you don't even need, or maybe getting conned into purchasing something massively overinflated in price that you absolutely don't need or just isn't going to work for you. But just keep learning, guys. Keep absorbing, keep learning, and don't just listen to me. I do know what I'm talking about, but I have an opinion, right? I have an opinion that's based on some facts. This is just Karl's perspective on some of these things. So do go out, do your research, be savvy when you're investing your time and money, because time and money are so important, right? Don't invest money before you're getting a flow of clients, or bear in mind, don't invest too much of it, and be so precious with your time because you'll never get your time back. Okay, so really do think about, is it important that I spend time and money right now on this thing for my coaching business? Do I understand enough to make an informed decision? And if you don't, then speak to somebody like me who can help you have the facts and understand what you're doing.